This is ASUS's newest TV.
It's not a TV.
What? Gaming monitors have come a long way in the last decade, slowly blurring the lines between home entertainment pieces to personal computer gaming essentials. And as we inch further and further to a world where hopefully they can become one, companies like ASUS have made it easier for you to justify that purchasing decision. Today, we have with us the ASUS ROG SWIFT PG42UQ, an OLED gaming monitor. ASUS's bridge to the best of both worlds. No. Not that best of both worlds, but a world in which you can comfortably game and watch your favorite media from the comfort of your own desk or from the comfort of your very own living room. The ASUS ROG SWIFT PG42UQ is a premium gaming experience all within a 42-inch 4K OLED screen with an out-of-this-world 138Hz overclocked refresh rate at 0.1 millisecond G2G response time, all within a 4K resolution. Now, let's be real here. How often do you get a 4K monitor that can comfortably perform as both a home entertainment system and a personal computer monitor? Not often, and the fact that this OLED monitor can register extreme blacks because of the OLED panel. Let's get deep into the specs in this section. This display can reach 400 nits in SDR and 800 nits of peak brightness in HDR10 mode. Not only is the contrast ratio a stunning 1.5 million to 1, but also achieves a 98% DCI-P3 color gamut right out of the box. No, seriously, we did no calibration whatsoever and found that the colors and HDR to be outstanding. They even included a calibration certificate inside. And if you're an editor, you'll appreciate the true 10-bit color the display has by utilizing the Display 1.4 port with Display Stream, Compression, or DSC. And if you don't know what DSC is, it means that the signal is sent to the display using the display port, and it will be lossless, aka the highest resolution with the fastest refresh rate. And if you aren't convinced, then that means that there are 1,024 shades of RGB color cubed. That means that it has over 1.07 billion shades of color, and you can expect no banding whatsoever and a smoother gradation of color. Our cameraman, Jackie, has compared it with his own calibrated TV, and what a surprise from the start is the color accuracy. There's simply no calibration needed for this monitor, straight out of the box, and you can rely on it producing pleasing and accurate colors. Alright, so with all these amazing specs, let's talk about enjoying high quality movies at 4K with HDR. Okay, let's look at the infamous House of Dragon beach scene. And if you've seen, then you know. Yes, it's dark. But with our lounge test, we can tell apart a lot of the details within the scene, even the red slash Rhaenyra wore, which we can tell from using the monitor rather than what we saw at our own home, which was simply too dark to tell. And as you can see here, while watching the beach scene, the brightness uniformity within the scene does not change, causing many OLED protective measures to kick in. However, after turning off the protective settings on the ASUS ROG SWIFT, it does not affect the scene like many OLED users have complained about, including our cameraman Jackie, who has experienced this in his own LG C8 OLED TV, where the screen will start to dim itself when peak brightness and nits have not changed over a few minutes, as the built-in OLED protective measures kick in. The only bypass for this is usually in the technician menus for normal OLED TVs. But this is not the case for the ASUS OLED. In the menus, there's an option to turn off the protective measures entirely, but you should keep in mind to not leave brighter objects on the screen for long periods, as you can still experience burn-in. It's sadly the downside of an OLED panel. But even then, there's also measures built in to combat image retention by using pixel shift settings and the auto dimming of logo areas on the screen. For example, the bright HUDs in games that stay in one spot or sports scores that stay on the corner of your screen. The ROG SWIFT has VRR support, as we mentioned, and the native refresh rate of 120Hz, but it can also be overclocked to 138Hz. This is such a welcome feature for those who are competitive in Call of Duty, Apex Legends, and even story mode games like God of War with its brand new parry system that requires quick reaction times. Let's start with the gaming on the consoles. We're running a PS5 today, playing God of War Ragnarok and Gran Turismo with VRR enabled at 120Hz from the ASUS monitor, with no overclocking. Throughout our tests, we found that due to the PS5's limitation, we found little to no benefit turning on overclocking at 138Hz because of both the console limitations and the game limitations. However, 138Hz will work perfectly on PC games. In this gameplay you're seeing here, we've switched between God of War's quality mode and performance mode, with VRR on and VRR off. We think that if you'd like to run 4K graphics on quality mode, not just on God of War, but other games as well, and you're not a fan of 30 frames per second on games, turning on overclocking at 120Hz with PS5 VRR enabled, it will help in smoothing out the frame rate to seem much higher than just 30 or 40 frames per second. Personally, we think that utilizing the combination of modes helped in playing games that require quick reactions for a smoother gameplay experience. Slowing down the footage, we can see that due to the 120Hz or 138Hz settings, there's less tearing for the graphics. For games like Gran Turismo 7, it feels even more realistic, driving with a higher refresh rate and with HDR enabled. For PC gaming, we're running Doom Eternal and Death Stranding. And boy, let me tell you, PC gaming on this monitor is just mesmerizing. The ability to reach max to ultra settings with their custom-built Armoury PC made by Canada Computers, boasting a 5900X and 3070 Ti, was able to vividly show how responsive the unit is, especially once overclocked to 138Hz and its 4K HDR support. And even when considering NVIDIA G-Sync, gaming is as immersive as you'd hope for when PC gaming. Its ability to match the frame rate with the GPU ensures that there is minimal to zero lag is felt on your end when gaming from your setup. It's important to note that only the display 1.4 port and HDMI 1 and 2 ports can support 120Hz and variable refresh rates. HDMI ports 3 and 4 do not. The display also comes with multiple HDR display modes, including ASUS's own HDR gaming mode, but we found it a little too dim for our liking. We stuck with the console option for the HDR signal coming from the PS5 itself. All right, let's get into the features of this bad boy. Big question for many is, can it run picture-in-picture? And yes. For example, you can run your PS5 and your PC side by side, though while using picture-in-picture, you cannot have VRR support, which makes sense due to the varying hardware. Initially, when getting this unit, we were worried about our studio lighting causing unwanted glare and removing the vividness of the color outputs. But right away, we were blown away by the monitor's anti-glare coating on the screen, minimizing those distracting blooms you can get on other OLED monitors and screens. With a viewing angle of 178 degrees and a tilt angle of 5 degrees each way, we're delighted with how the anti-glare kept up with our lights being positioned at different angles as well. Viewing the monitor head-on, you'll have little to no issue with glare, for sure. When gaming in a more lit area and within a direct sunlight reflection, we felt like we lost little to none of our immersion while playing games in both our desktop setup and our living room setup. But even with a controlled lighting situation and room, you can see how deep and rich the contrast and saturation can be seen on the screen. ASUS has also implemented a uniform brightness setting that will automatically adjust the screen more subtly from dark to bright and bright to dark. This is only available on using a PC, which is handy for long sessions where it's already late, it's 3 AM, and we forgot about the time, the lights are off, and the switch from the lighter screen scenarios, tabs, graphics, all makes it easier on the eyes. This is achievable through the unique panel subpixel layout that has white lit pixels in between that not only make the transition of brightness easier in the eyes, but they allow for text and graphics to appear more detailed when compared to a regular source monitor. And even then, we can't forget about the standby mode, which makes it so easy to turn on. Simply move your mouse or press a key on the keyboard to wake the monitor up, which doesn't require you to always have the remote with you at all times, just in case you kind of lose it in the couch, which, let's be honest, most of us do. Now, let's get into the design of the ROG Swift PG42UQ. And after using it for some time, it's a very sleek and thin monitor with a really good and supportive stand that allows for seamless tilting and adjusting. It was extremely easy to set up. Just remember that the OLED panel is very thin, so please don't apply too much centralized pressure on any one side. What we did was simply rest the panel on the box it came in with the protective cover still on and screwed in the base. With its custom heatsink and internal fanning, you can expect to game at those higher resolutions and frequencies without hearing any fan noise like a lot of other monitors out there. From looking directly at it, it looks just like any high-end TV or monitor with minimal bezels and accents. But it's when you look at the back, you can see and feel the whole gamer aesthetic. The ROG Swift features a seamless plastic shroud around its USB and display ports, making it more cable-friendly and aesthetically minimal design. And the nice little clip-on magnets to secure it in place is really nice. The ROG Swift includes a rich selection of connectivity. A nice little touch was this little pouch that it came with. All the wires and cables all came in the unit, which can be used as a travel bag if needed. Apart from this TV being a monitor and vice versa, there's also a 1/4-inch thread for mounting a webcam or video light for streaming. From 2 HDMI 2.0 ports, 2 HDMI 2.1 ports, a 1.4 display port with DSC, 4 USB 3.2 Type A ports, all in different locations for ease of use, mind you. With everything said and done, the ASUS ROG SWIFT PG42UQ is an insane monitor with seamlessly went from our gaming desktop setup to a home entertainment system with so much ease. Its design aesthetics are second to none, and the features and accessibility options should be the new standard for monitors just like this. We'd like to thank ASUS for providing us with this monitor to use and test, and thank you all for watching and tuning in. Let us know what you think. Leave a comment down below if you used it before or haven't. Are you excited? Be sure to hit that subscribe button, like, and hit that bell notification so you don't miss out on another video of ours. Till next time.